how big it
Yeah,
was
they-
gonna get.
Perfected the formula. It's a website and you can upload videos. Stop there.
Yeah.
We did it, guys. It's weird that have they monopolized? There's not really another. There's not a competitor, is there? Not that I can
Don't
think of.
disrespect Billy.
Oh, right, yeah.
They're on there.
A competitor in the UK or US markets.
Do you think there's like a Chinese Crash Happy out there? Like it's just like our normal episodes, but dubbed in Chinese. You know, like sometimes that happens to like some YouTubers.
Yeah. Oh, I
know
thought
some
you
of
meant
my
like
videos are on there.
an equivalent of like there's 5 Chinese guys. That's like
And they all
talk
dress
about
up
Formula
as
One.
us.
They all dress up as that.
There's one guy, and whatever like the Chinese equivalent of Sheffield is, and he's like doing that accent. They have some like joke industrial town. And then they have the one guy who can't eat. I guess
Century
he's
egg.
still. I was gonna say, I assume he's just still can't eat anything, much like you, James.
Yeah. Just
It's not like there's a Chinese version of gluten. That's still just gluten.
that just exists.
And then, to be honest, the Dan one would be just the same.
Yeah.
It's unintelligible currently, so
Well, Dan's mind is already Chinese, as we found out. So
True.
there's a Chinese man with an English mind. Is that the opposite? I don't.
Hell yeah. It's gonna be like the Silverstone episode gets released and then like it's just gonna be like Chinese characters and then normal in English. Hell yeah.
I was trying to think like what's the most British thing that the Chinese Dan could be saying.
It's good.
Just start waffling about eating beans on toast or something.
Just got back from Nando's, guys.
What's the equivalent of a magic postbox in China?
You're trying to ask about some big consequential event that happened in a town square somewhere in China in the 80s.
Wasn't going quite that far. Wasn't going to lean into
Basically
that.
the same thing.
Wasn't going to. Is there a post box there? I don't know.
In China, do they deliver mail?
I know they
Would think
deliver.
there'd be a post box.
Yeah, but there's a. Not
They just
questioning.
shout real loud so the other person can hear.
Not questioning their mail system.
They still
No,
deliver
now we are,
messages by
James.
bird.
Yeah.
Have they ever heard of an envelope? These are the questions we need to ask.
They just deliver. Yeah, it's everything by bird still. They just do everything by bird. Everyone has their
We
own
should
bird.
go back to that.
And they just.
Yeah.
So much fucking cooler.
Is it?
Because now, what, you get like
Trying to
some
corral a
fucking-
bird?
Get some guy in his Asics walking up to your front door. And it's like just hanging out and like ringing the doorbell and peering through the windows trying to see if anyone's in. You don't get that shit with a bird. The bird like majestically flies down. He doesn't give a shit. Just drops off the letter and he pisses off again.
Your dogs aren't gonna like bark at them and like annoy the whole household. I have a fun story, by the way.
Tell me about it.
A couple months ago, or no, last month, I went to visit my parents, and as like I'm saying hi, like the mailman comes to like deliver a package, and my dog, because like the door is open, and my dog sees this guy, right, the delivery man, he just chases him like fucking barking at it, like wanting to rip his eyes out or some shit. And the poor delivery guy was sprinting around the neighborhood like he's being fucking chased for his life right now. And I'm just saying, if we had messages by bird, we wouldn't have that anymore. I think it'd be big community service.
Famously, dogs are super chill with pigeons.
I mean,
Just living in the
dogs
house.
don't fight birds. Birds have wings.
Dogs don't fight birds.
Yeah.
Dog has never ever tried to chase a bird.
Is that like a British thing? I've never seen a dog here chase a bird.
What?
They know their limits.
They know their limits.
Dogs are much
I
more
mean,
realistic in America.
Yeah. Well,
More grounded.
my family dog has killed a bird, so he clearly doesn't know his limits.
Yeah, needs to be euthanized.
How did your dog get the bird, James?
Just in the garden. Just ran after a bird in the garden.
If you're a bird and if you get taken out by a land-based animal, you deserve it.
Kind of deserve, yeah.
Unless the dog has like learned to shoot, then in that case, that's tough.
Like a Looney Tunes dog.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I don't know. I can't remember the exact. Just caught it. I don't think we saw. No, the reason we found out is
real
because
high. Just
they brought it in and they put it amongst like we had like a little basket with some dog toys in it, and they put the bird in the basket of all the toys. And my mum went to go and like get a dog toy and just found a dead bird amongst the toys. That's how we then found it. We were like,
that sounds nice.
They've killed this bird.
But you don't know that the dog killed the bird. The bird might have just died into the toys.
Yeah, could have gone
causes.
like fall damage or something.
It was indoors.
It just got tired flying.
Yeah.
The bird was like, maybe I'll stick the landing. Those toys look soft. I like how we're talking and the whole time there's a thing going on about
Dan and meth.
Yeah, people just saying like, please don't give Dan meth, and I'm just like, we'll leave the chat to do its thing.
Yeah, I got rid of the chat a little while ago, so
it's not relevant.
It's a wild
it's not
west out
to
there.
we're talking about, yeah.
They they entertain themselves
we need to make oat
for an hour and a half. No, oat drink it's a great drink. It's a good drink.
So the consistency is your favorite thing about it, is it not?
I can't remember. I said something about it.
Yeah, you said white and goopy, yum yum, my favorite.
Yeah. That was it. Those are my exact
I'm not
words.
applicable, James, and I approve this message. That's what you said.
Yeah. So like pouring it in your ass or something.
Whoa, hang on.
I'm not misremembering. I vividly
we've come back
remember
full
that.
circle.
Yeah. We did it, guys.
Believe it or not, that's part of the JOI.
Oh dear. I did have more quiz questions, but I think we're beyond that now.
Well, you should have mentioned it.
I've always got quiz questions. I've always.
The start is delayed. The start is delayed.
Oh yeah, the start is delayed. Yeah, but I think we've also we've ended the streams. It's nearly 22. Okay. I've got 2 tenables around Japan and the Japanese Grand Prix. Would you like one about constructors, or would you like one about drivers?
If you're gonna make these into shorts, can I take the? Fuck it, I'll just leave them on. It's fine.
I mean, yes, it will be made into a short, as Mr. Pulse pointed out during the Chinese Grand Prix live stream, and then I just left that in because he literally at one point went like, "I'm gonna say it again for the short."
No, I told him to do that.
Oh, did you? I can't remember. I was like, well, I'm just leaving that in because that's brilliant.
My producer brain to get those clean lines.
Just gotta say to Pulse.
James, no more waffle, more tenable.
Well, which one do you want? Constructor or
do your job, short boy.
Do them both.
Do them both? Okay.
Say the quiz man.
Okay. Can you name for me the 10 constructors who have won the Japanese Grand Prix more than once?
There's only 10.
There's only 10.
Okay.
Ferrari.
Do we get
Ferrari is correct.
like lives?
You got 3 lives. You give me
Okay.
3 lives. That's the standard format.
McLaren.
McLaren are number 1 on the list. They've won it 9 times.
Red Bull.
Red Bull number 2 on the list. They've won it 8 times.
You said Ferrari.
Ferrari were
Yes.
number 3.
Mercedes.
Mercedes are number 4 on the list. You've knocked out the big 4 there.
Williams.
Williams, number 6 on the list. They've won it 3 times.
I think Benetton.
Benetton are the number 5 on the list. They've won it 3 times. Same as Williams, but they did it first.
So we have 1, 2.
You've got all of
3.
the top 6.
Okay. 7, 8, 9, 10.
Are we working together or against each other? Just no answers to that question. Okay.
Well, I was waiting for Duck to maybe say something.
Wait, what? No, James,
If it-
you're the headmaster. You determine the rules.
Oh,
If
well,
we're
I was
working
just going to give
together,
you.
I'll give
I
you
was just going to
hints.
give you 3 lives. Yeah, between you.
Okay. I want to say Renault.
Renault are number 10 on the list, right at the bottom. Very well done.
They've only won it twice.
They've won it twice. 2006,
Ooh.
2008.
Who's been good? Like what teams are
But only
good?
for a little bit.
But only for a tiny little bit. Was it ever won by BMW?
It was not won by BMW. Well, it might have been won once by BMW, but I haven't got it on the list. It hasn't won more than once at the Japanese Grand Prix.
For reference, when was the first Japanese Grand Prix, in case you know?
It's like the end of the
In the
60s, man.
60s.
In
Yeah,
the
60.
Then I'm going to say maybe, as is like a shot in the dark, Lotus.
Lotus, number 7 on the list.
Okay.
1963 and
Yeah, but that means-
1976.
How many times did they win it?
Twice.
So there would have been other teams back then
Mm.
that won it. So maybe this is a nasty question, James.
These are the nasty 2.
Mhm.
These are the nasty 2.
Brabham?
Brabham is not tenable, I am afraid.
Damn. This is the last life?
Yeah,
It's the last life. I can give you a couple of clues, maybe.
Gimme. Now.
For one of these constructors, it was their home Grand Prix.
Ooh.
I don't know many Japanese teams, but
There's only been like
Yeah,
3.
there's not been many.
okay. I'm so
And
sorry
it
if I
wasn't
get
fucking Toyota.
this. I'm so sorry if I get this wrong. Honda.
It was not
has to be.
Honda.
What
It
the
was not
what?
Honda. I know. I thought it was going to be Honda too. That's
What
why I
are the
thought it was a good
Japanese-
question. It was Nissan.
Mitsubishi? Nissan? What?
What the fuck do you
Yeah.
mean it was Nissan? That's never been a.
In the 1968 and 1969 Grand Prix, apparently.
What are you talking about?
You're making
This is just
up.
from Wikipedia. So
That's why. Some guy in chat must have changed it. Like
no,
just now.
it's not live from Wikipedia. I took the screenshot like 3 days ago.
Who was the other one?
What do you even mean?
And the other one was March.
March. That's a month.
Sorry, James, 1968?
Yeah.
That's non-championship.
Oh. Where have I got this?
You have ruined this tenable.
I haven't. Literally, I typed in.
Ruined
Go on
this
go on the Japanese Grand Prix Wikipedia page, and it's literally the 10 constructors that have won the Japanese Grand Prix more than once. Scroll down. I literally just nabbed it from there.
Yeah, but you're counting teams that have only won it non-championship. Is the final one March by any chance?
Yeah, I didn't think about that. I just looked at it and saw that it was 10.
James. And so actually, when we were talking about earlier, 1976 with Mr. Hunt in the race, that actually was the first championship Japanese Grand Prix, which I didn't know.
So. I thought so.
Should have said it then.
I did, and then you were like, nah. I said that as a fact.
What's really weird is there was another Japanese Grand Prix also in 1976, a non-championship one. So there was just a whole load of Grand Prix happening in Japan.
Fair enough. I did not think about non-championship years. I literally just grabbed the thing and I just saw it was 10.
This is why no one else is trusted to do stats about the history of this sport.
Well, I just didn't read it. I've got like I had like 15
yes,
tenables
my point.
ready to go. I was trying to find loads of different things. I was trying to make fucking YouTube, whatever it was, drivers that. What was it? Who's that Formula 1 driver?
You're crumbling, James.
I'm too tired for this.
Yeah, I think maybe we need to end this so James can go back to bed.
We've got. I've had such a long week.
Well, there is only 13 minutes until the race, till lights out. So,
well, no, 23 now. Right?
Yeah. So, sorry, 23 minutes, but still.
Do you want the other tenable? Because I won't ruin this one. I promise.
Yes, quickly.
Okay.
Oh, James, also, Dan wants to know on behalf of chat. He's trying to barter for one final super chat.
Yeah.
Which would be £30, and in exchange,
God,
you have to drink milk and eat bread.
I mean, I don't have any milk or bread.
That's kind of gonna shoot that one down, isn't it?
I mean, yeah, I could, but I'd have to go to Tesco's.
It'd have to be in Miami. You'd have to wait 5 weeks to see that.
Yeah. You'd have to. I don't have any milk or bread in the house because I never have milk in the house, and we don't have any bread because I ate the last of it yesterday, and I haven't gone to Tesco's.
Tolerance reveal.
Sorry. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Change is normal.
My girlfriend ate the last of the bread yesterday because I obviously can't have it. Where were we? I've actually lost my mind.
Question, James.
Oh yeah,
one that's not broken.
Yeah. Yep. I don't often break them. I think that's the first one, maybe.
That's when we find out they're all lies, all the other ones.
Every 10 of them.
Also, people in chat saying who doesn't have bread or milk. Who fucking does, honestly?
I don't have
We're not living in the Middle Ages.
I don't have milk. I have bread. I only have frozen bread. Because also, if you live on your own, a whole loaf of bread will just go moldy.
Yeah, that's why I don't have bread.
Yeah. How the fuck am I meant to eat a whole loaf of bread on my own in like 3 days?
Yeah, we're not peasants anymore. We got meals to eat.
I like bread because it's a vessel to eat peanut butter.
Yes. Or Nutella.
No, bro. I need my nutty protein.
Wonderful nut in your mouth.
Exactly.
I understand. Yeah.
And to gobble them nuts. What's the question, James?
I was just gonna let you keep going down that rabbit hole. Can you name for me the 10? No, hang on. Yep. Of course it's 10. It's tenable. Can you name for me the last 10 different winners of the Japanese Grand Prix, not including 2026?
Not including 2026. We're not allowed to reach into the future.
Yeah. Well, obviously this short will come out in the future.
Fair enough.
But for people live, I had to say that because we are not in the future.
Yes.
Not yet. Who went first last time?
I did.
Okay. Can I please have Max Verstappen?
Max Verstappen, number 1 on the list. The most recent new winner of the Japanese Grand Prix.
Valtteri Bottas.
Valtteri Bottas is number 2.
Okay. I wasn't sure. Okay, good.
God, who won it before him? Also, we just had a £50 super chat, James, which means you have to
What?
eat bread on the podcast.
Jesus. Yeah.
You better buy the nicest loaf you've ever seen in
Christ.
your life.
I need to go buy some bread.
Can I have a? I can't. Just a Sebastian Vettel, please.
Sebastian Vettel is number 4.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like,
Can I have a Nico Rosberg?
Nico Rosberg is number 3. 2016 Japanese Grand Prix winner.
Jenson Button.
Jenson Button is number 5 on the list.
Yeah.
2011. You've rattled off the top 5.
Alonso.
Fernando Alonso is number 7 on the list.
What year?
2006 and 2008.
I think it might have been won by Lewis Hamilton.
It's been won a couple of times by Lewis Hamilton. 2007, 2014, 2015, 2017, 2018. He's done well here.
So that puts him number 6.
Number 6.
Filling in the board for you, James. We need number 8 before Alonso.
Mm-hmm.
Who would have won it?
This may be
Absolutely
wrong.
loads of times in the early noughties.
Fuck. Kimi Räikkönen.
Kimi Räikkönen's number 8 on the list.
I'm trying to think actually, because he might be outside the top 10, so I might not say the German man. Let's go.
Yeah, I was thinking him.
Mika Hakkinen.
Mika Hakkinen is not tenable.
Damn. Did he ever win it? Did he just not win it?
Possibly. I haven't got the list in front of me.
So we have the top 6.
We have the top 8.
We have the top 8.
We have the top 8. Oh, so
Yeah.
we have 7 as well. Okay.
So it's who won it before Raikkonen now. Raikkonen won it, what year was it? 2004?
3. 5.
2005.
Okay.
I'm just seeing if Mika Hakkinen won it.
This is like a complete shot in the dark, so I'm sorry if I sell Jacques
Oh, yeah,
Villeneuve.
Mika Hakkinen did win it, but it was 1999.
So there's
And that's
2 people
before.
won it. 2 people won it. That means 2 people won it between 99 and 2005.
Yeah, that you haven't got. So Mika Hakkinen would have been number 11 on the list.
Montoya.
And Pablo Montoya is not tenable.
Rick, hello.
Barrichello is number 9 on the
Really?
list. Oh no, sorry. Number 10. Yeah, number 10 on the list. Number 10 on the list.
Don't screw this one up. as well.
Barrichello's number
What-
10 on the list. So there's one
What
person
year,
who
what
won
year?
it between Barrichello and Raikkonen. Barrichello won it in
What year?
2003. Raikkonen won it in 2005.
The fuck won in 2004?
I feel like I know this, but I don't know it at the same time.
You want to take my turn?
Nope.
Okay.
You've mentioned him. You kind of skirted around him a bit.
Don't tell me it's Michael.
Yeah, Michael Schumacher won it in 2004 between
No, didn't he win in
Raikkonen and
2000?
Barrichello.
But didn't he win it in like 1996, James?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's the most recent wins.
No, you said most recent new winners.
Yeah.
Oh.
Not most
Oh,
recent
I ruined this
winners.
one too.
James!
Oh my god.
I shouldn't be allowed to do tenables at 4 a.m.
You
I'm
meant
sorry.
most recent different winners, right?
What I'm going to do for next stream is not plan the quizzes
Turn up.
after I've woken up at 3 a.m.
But can I confirm you were talking about most recent different winners?
Yes, yeah.
But what you said was most recent new winners.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
that is
but maybe
different.
he didn't say it. Maybe we misheard him.
No, he explicitly said new winners.
Did I
Or
say
one
new
of
winners?
you did.
I've got
One of
different
you.
winners
It might have
written
been
in
you.
front of me.
It might have been me who said new winners then.
Did I say new?
Maybe I screwed us over. Anyway,
We're all guilty.
we
It happened.
fucked it up.
It's
I think
early.
that's a good time to end the stream.
Yeah.
Yes.
What I'll do next
race is
time
in
is plan
13
the
minutes.
questions the day before the stream.
Maybe do it like a week before and run it past like a focus group.
yeah.
Trial runs.
Run it quickly by a focus group. Just gotta double check it. I don't know. Chat can tell me if I said new or different. I've got different written in front of me. That's what I meant.
And you've also got written down that the 1966 Japanese Grand Prix was won by Nissan.
I have. Right, 1968.
So, my bad. I think that's perfect time to say thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you guys.
We've got a Grand Prix starting in 12 minutes time. I'm going to go
Thank
make
you
another
for all
coffee.
of the super chats and bits and pieces and supporting the channel.
Yes.
We will
All
be
your bread money, James.
live bread money for Miami.
Don't
I know I've
forget
got to
it.
do it on the podcast. haven't
Yeah. This Monday.
I? This Monday. I can do
We
that.
have got that bread, and now James will get that bread. And potentially get that indigestion.
Will I? Hopefully not.
Yeah, probably not because it's just a joke.
We'll see. I can't. I do have bread fairly often, I think. Maybe. Having said that, I can't think of the last time I had bread.
Oh, brother.
We don't buy bread.
Start-
Does everyone
start to
have
fuck up
bread
his
all the
own
time?
bread schedule in the same way he fucked up these
Yeah.
quizzes.
It's gonna buy like
Yeah.
hot dog buns instead.
Look,
That's still bread.
in my defense, I've had a long term of teaching. It's been exam period. We've had to
Oh,
get up
here's a question,
early
James.
for all of these
Are
things.
you about to do a race watch along?
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
Well, I was just about to plug anyone who would like to continue watching it live, like watch the race with someone. James is doing a race watch along, and it will be the exact same quality as the last hour and a half has been, presumably.
Look, I'm waking up now. Maybe I should stand up. Maybe that's the thing.
Yeah, that's
Maybe
why
I
I
should.
stood up
I
for
should
this.
never sit down.
That's why I stood up for this.
It was a good
Can't
plan.
fall asleep standing up. It's well known. Science.
Science.
Anyway, thank you guys for joining us. Enjoy
Thank
the Grand
you.
Prix. And we shall be back for Miami.
In 5 weeks.
5.
Yeah. It's a little break that we've got. Oh, dear, dear, dear. Right, let me go live on my own channel. Beautiful.
Yep.
Ah, sorry about the tenables. I fucking don't know.
Don't worry, it was hilarious.
It's all good. It's all good.
I can barely see straight at this point. But I have now got a week off work, so I will reset my mind.
Okay, sleep maybe.
Yeah,
Do some sleeping.
it's required at this point.
It's required at all points, James,
No.
for life.
Well, we did the Brighton trip. When was that? Like 5 weeks ago. And then I've had literally 5 solid weeks of work, Grand Prix, like. And
Yeah, these weekends have been brutal.
it's
I do
now
agree with you.
hitting me.
These
They
early
wanna do-
morning streams.
They
have
want
been
to do
brutal.
a quadruple header at the end of the season, by the way.
Ooh.
Are they talking about that?
Yeah.
So
Do,
adding a race
ha-
after Abu Dhabi?
No, like in between, and it's going to be Jeddah.
So they shift Abu Dhabi back, basically.
That or they slot in Saudi Arabia somewhere in between.
But it's already a triple header with only 1 week.
Oh, I see. So it's probably
from a
going to be like
previous triple
Yeah,
header,
they'd have
so
to
they
move the
like,
Grand Prix
I
back
see what you
somewhere.
mean now.
They have to like
see.
move Abu Dhabi back and then put it in that gap type thing.
Yeah, probably.
Fair enough.
I hope that doesn't come true.
But as long as, I mean, if they're gonna do that, probably better to do it as Jeddah rather than Bahrain, right?
True. Yeah.
Should probably be more interesting. Or just don't do it.
Yeah.
Also, if you're gonna
There's
slot
that
a race
option.
in, maybe don't try and slot in another Middle Eastern race.
Yeah. Maybe
No
like,
indicators.
I don't know actually. I was going to say maybe a European race, but I don't think there's many gaps in the calendar for Europe either. I think they're pretty much like double headers, triple headers.
Not in December. You can maybe do
Not
like
well, yeah, not in
Portugal.
December. As in, like they could have maybe put in like a round between. And I was trying to look at the calendar, and I was going to say like maybe Netherlands and Monza, but then that would be a quadruple header too, because Madrid is the week after. And then same if they put one between Madrid and Azerbaijan, that would be a quadruple header.
Yeah, the only way it can work is you have to move existing weekends.
Yeah, they'd have to shuffle one backwards.
Which doesn't really work if you sold tickets, but I'm assuming the Middle East ones would be easier because there's less people go to them.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah.
But Abu Dhabi's not going to give up its finale status.
No.
I could see them moving back just a week, moving Abu Dhabi back, because that's the kind of place when they'll just send out an email, be like, hey, we know you bought tickets and booked hotel and flights, but it's a different weekend now.
But we've changed our minds.
It's the kind of thing they would do.
Yeah. Right.
All right,
I'm going to go live.
I'm going to head out.
I'll see you very
Yeah.
soon.
Same. I'm going to take these
All
off.
right. Bye-bye.
Catch you around.
Boom. Hello, everybody on the Crash Happy. No, on the non-Crash Happy channel. God, my mind is actually mush at this point. It's hit me this morning that my mind is actual mush. How are we doing? How are we feeling? We've been live on the channel for a little bit. Apologies, we kind of ran over because the race start was delayed. So we ended up just kind of chatting over on Crash Happy. If you haven't seen those men before, that was the Crash Happy channel. You can subscribe over on youtube.com/Crash Happy Podcast, where me, Mr. V, Mr. Pulse, Formula Duck, and Dan No Skill chat Formula One, do random stuff, and we have a lovely little channel all together over there that we work on, and it's really fun. It's probably like the best thing I've done on YouTube, if I'm honest, or like my favorite thing that I've kind of started and going with. But we are live on the main channel, my channel, for now. Let's pop your predictions up because we are getting closer and closer to the start of the race. Why did that guy have underpants on his head? That's just a thing he does. Just a thing that he does. Slider donated 50. I know the donations over on the Crash Abbey channel have been crazy in recent weeks. They just love it. There's Dan No Skill just pulling the strings and getting in those super chats. But we very much appreciate it. Thank you for coming over if you have joined us from the Crash Happy stream. Apologies that I was all over the place. But there we go. That's sometimes what you have to deal with. So sometimes I'm not a professional. And that's just the case. Just quickly grabbing the bits and pieces for for today's stream. But these were your guys' predictions. So if you do want to get involved in the predictions prior to the stream, they are over on the posts tab. Usually put them out sort of a few days before, hopefully the week before the Grand Prix itself. You guys had George Russell as your likely winner of the Japanese Grand Prix, with Kimi Antonelli and Charles Leclerc on the podium in that order behind him. You thought that the good surprise would come from Max Verstappen. What is a surprise from Max Verstappen at this point? Like, he's a full-time world champion. Surely that has to be like a win or bust if you're Max Verstappen inside of the Red Bull. But he's starting P11, so not sure what he has to do from there to get that good surprise from you guys. And then alongside that, you said that Mercedes would be the best team on the grid. And once again, you've put Aston Martin at the bottom, in both Fernando Alonso having the worst time of all the drivers and Aston Martin having the worst time of all the teams. And we are just a few minutes out from the start of the Grand Prix. What's the chances that Piastri does not start again? We do not talk about those things. We only have positive affirmations for the McLaren boys. They're both going to start the race. They're both going to finish the race. They're both going to score some points. Possibly even one of them on the podium, although that may be sort of a little bit of a push. In terms of this week, we've got the Suzuka circuit, 2 straight line mode areas. Is that what they're called? Straight zones, fast zones, straight lines, 2 straight lines where the drivers are allowed to activate straight mode. And of course, the overtake button that has the detection point just towards the end of the lap there that you can see. It should be a fairly interesting one. Like, I like the fact that we've started the year with 3 very different tracks. Like, Australia, China, Japan are all very, very different in how they're built, in the sort of things that you need in terms of a Formula One car to go quickly, and also just very different styles of races that we should see from all 3. And China was very entertaining. Australia was very entertaining. So I'm hoping that Japan will be exactly the same, and also the most entertaining it can possibly be. In terms of tyre compounds, C1, C2, C3 this weekend, C3 being the softest compound of tyre available to the cars. I don't know how tyre degradation is going to play out. We haven't really seen tyre degradation be too much of an issue in either Australia or China. Doesn't seem to be like a limiting factor in the same way that it maybe was in years prior. Although actually, looking back at last year and the last couple of years, the ground effect cars had pretty much nailed looking after their tyres. Like, a lot of people were able to get away with almost 0 stop strategies, weren't they? So tyres haven't really been a massive factor for a little while now. And I think actually that's a good thing and a bad thing. Like, I like the fact that you can still defend from somebody. It's not just an automatic overtake if they are on slightly better tyres than you. But at the same time, I'd like to see maybe a little bit more tyre variation in terms of strategies and stuff. Like, if you look at the grid today, everybody is starting on the medium compound tire, apart from Valtteri Bottas, who is starting on the hard. So, like, everyone just seems to think, might as well start on the medium. It's always the better tire to start the race on. And then they'll probably swap onto the hard compound tire. And that might be that, depending on if there's any, I was going to say weather, but there's 0% chance of rain. So I don't think there'll be too much kind of strategy element to this race. I think it will be pretty much all out, go, 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 and go as fast as you possibly can. In terms of the Drivers' Championship, we've got the 2 Mercedes boys at the top, of course, followed by the 2 Ferraris. Ollie Behrman sits 5th in the Drivers' Championship at this moment in time with Lando Norris. Gasly in there as well in 7th place, which is very, very impressive considering where he's at. Max Verstappen down in 8th place. And then we've got the 2 racing balls rounding out the top 10 at the moment. I don't think, we can really look at the Drivers' Championship board too much this early in the season. Like, I know that the Mercedes team look very, very dominant at this point, but I do think we've got enough of the championship ahead of us where that could most certainly change. Ferrari are bringing upgrades. McLaren are bringing upgrades. Miami could look quite a bit different, even if the championship doesn't change too much in Miami specifically. This championship could change dramatically by even the summer break, let alone the end of the season. Phew! In terms of the grid, we're almost there. Antonelli and Russell already getting underway for the formation lap. Oscar Piastri starting in 3rd place behind them in the McLaren and is on the grid and going to start a race. Oscar Piastri just needs to get round the formation lap, and we are almost there to actually see a racing lap from Oscar Piastri that isn't part of a sprint race this year. Charles Leclerc starts in 4th place, Lando Norris 5th, Lewis Hamilton 6th, sort of that mishmash of McLaren and Ferrari on the 2nd and 3rd rows of the grid. Obviously, we know Ferrari starts are strong, though, so will they be able to take that advantage and be able to jump at the start, even up towards the 2 Mercedes cars, as they have been able to in the first 2 Grand Prix of the year. Pierre Gasly, sitting best of the rest in 7th place, has done wonders inside of that Alpine. I know that his qualifying has always been good, Pierre Gasly. Like, even last year, managed to get 10 pole positions in an absolutely dogged Alpine car. He's getting those Q3s in now as well during 2026, which is lovely to see. Isaac Hadjar, Gabriel Bortoleto, and Arvid Lindblad were the other 3 drivers that managed to make their way through to Q3 last time around. Max Verstappen starts in 11th place. It was a very disappointing qualifying for Verstappen, and to be honest, the race starts have not been fun for Max Verstappen either this year, so I think if he can just stay 11th going into the first 5 corners, that would be absolutely amazing for him. Esteban Ocon in 12th place, Hulkenberg 13th, Lawson 14th, Colapinto 15th, and Carlos Sainz 16th, with the other drivers that dropped out in Q2 with Max Verstappen. Finally, Alex Albon, Ollie Behrman, Sergio Perez, Valtteri Bottas, Fernando Alonso, and Lance Stroll at the back of the pack. Ollie Behrman probably the one to watch there in 18th place. He has been phenomenal at the start of this season, scored points in every available point scoring session that we have had. He's trying to make that 4 in a row. Starting from 18th place, though, it's going to be a little bit of a tough afternoon for Ollie Behrman to keep that streak going. How are you all feeling, though? We've got some Let's Go Russells in the chats. We've got Russell, Russell love, actually, in the chat at the moment. Hope Max just gets a respectable finish. Yeah, I'd quite like Max to just finish the Grand Prix too. I think the problem is, like, with the Red Bull and how it is situated, even if it's a brilliant race from Verstappen, are we actually going to get anywhere close to even the back of Lewis Hamilton? Probably not. I don't know. Super Mario Kart in Ferrari. Yeah, I know. Jack Black has been all around the Japanese Grand Prix. Isn't the new Mario movie coming out? Like, they're doing all the... Is it Mario Galaxy movie? I haven't seen the first one, if I'm honest. What are my thoughts on the super clipping on the straights? It's not amazing, don't get me wrong, but I think people are overblowing it pretty dramatically. I'd much rather they have clipping on the straights and maybe qualifying is not the most exciting Saturday in the world, but then we have the races like we've had in Australia and China. Formula One became a qualifying championship for a very long time in recent years. Now, at least, we are getting some interchange in positions, and I'd much rather that. But let's focus in on the start of the Grand Prix then. 5 red lights are starting to illuminate. The green flag is waved, and we're going to be underway here in Suzuka for round 3 of the 2026 Formula One season. And here comes Kimi Antonelli, and he's under pressure straight away. It's a poor start from Kimi Antonelli. He's fallen back a good few places. Piastri and Leclerc have jumped in front of both of the Mercedes cars. And here comes Lando Norris around the outside of George Russell as well. It's going to be 3 cars overtaking George Russell into the first corner. Even though Russell's got in front of his teammate, he's then dropped down. So it's Piastri, Leclerc, and Norris, our top three. Russell, Hamilton, Antonelli, then behind in 4th, 5th, and 6th. Gasly has been able to hold on to 7th place. Hadjar in 8th. Lindblad in 9th. It's been a poor start from Gabriel Bortoleto, who's now down in 13th place after starting inside of the points. That means Verstappen is up a position into 10th. Ocon moves up. Lawson's up a couple of places. And Ollie Behrman is also up a couple of places into 16th place too. But Piastri now leads this Japanese Grand Prix. Charles Leclerc in 2nd place behind him. And I said during the Crash Happy podcast just before this that I thought Ferrari might get the first win of the season outside of the Mercedes teams. Have I jinxed them? And now I've opened the door for Oscar Piastri. We'll have to wait and see. Oscar Piastri leads this Grand Prix. Lap 1 of Suzuka coming towards a close as they all come around towards the final sector. Charles Leclerc putting Piastri under pressure already. Lando Norris having to keep George Russell at bay. Kimi Antonelli going from pole down to 6th place. And now fighting with Lewis Hamilton for 5th. Pierre Gasly also trying to keep Hadjar at bay behind too. Hadjar having a little look at the Alpine. Here comes George Russell to make a move. Oh no, sorry, it's Kimi Antonelli on Lewis Hamilton. And Antonelli gets past Lewis Hamilton comfortably down the straights. The Ferrari just really does not have the top line speed that the Mercedes car seems to have. And Kimi Antonelli now up into 5th place and down 4 positions from where he started. Arvid Lindblad also up a couple of places, has just dispatched Isaac Hadjar. Lindblad now up into 8th place. Isaac Hadjar now in front of his teammate Max Verstappen. What a start to this Japanese Grand Prix. The chaos of Mercedes not being able to get off the line effectively has allowed the two McLarens to jump up and Charles Leclerc into the podium places. And now we are all over. Oh my goodness me, it's getting a little bit close between the two Red Bulls. Isaac Hadjar goes a tiny little bit wide as they go through the Degners. Max Verstappen looking at the back of his teammate. And Verstappen actually getting in front of Isaac Hadjar. Hadjar down into 10th place. Max Verstappen up into 9th for now. Now under pressure from Esteban Ocon behind as well, Isaac Hadjar. And Hadjar is falling backwards as Ocon has a little look, but not able to make the move for now. Liam Lawson also now fighting at the back. Oh, the battle is still going on. Max Verstappen versus his teammate. And Verstappen just about keeps that position in front of Hadjar as Hadjar tries to make a lunge on his teammate. But he's opened the door for Esteban Ocon to then down this pit straight to go for a move. And Ocon is up into the point scoring places. Isaac Hadjar tried to make a move on Verstappen, lost out, and then also lost out to Esteban Ocon as well. Franco Colapinto takes over from Gabriel Bortoleto for 13th place too, and Ollie Behrman now up into 15th place ahead of both Williams cars. Oh my goodness me. And Oscar Piastri leading this race then by 1.8 seconds. Oh, yeah, the multi-viewer is having a little bit of a weird moment. Ah, you know why? Boop. I think I was on the wrong one. Good point. Thank you, Kelly. This is why we have other people here to keep me earnest. There we are. Piastri 1.4 seconds ahead of Charles Leclerc. George Russell 0.8 seconds behind. Lando Norris has dropped a position to 4th place. Kimi Antonelli right on the tail of the McLaren of Lando Norris too. Piastri trying to get a lead out there, but Lando Norris showing that the McLaren in the middle of the pack doesn't quite have the pace to live with the Mercedes cars at the moment. Here comes Kimi Antonelli. And George Russell is having a little look at Charles Leclerc, and George Russell saunters past the Ferrari too. I'll tell you what, even though the start of the race was poor from Mercedes, they're looking absolutely lethal when it comes to straight line speed here in Suzuka. George Russell already back up into P2 with the fastest lap of the race by a considerable margin as well. George Russell 1.34.4 134. Oscar Piastri at 134.9. 0.5 of a second lost between George Russell and Oscar Piastri just last lap. Charles Leclerc up into third place from where he started, but down behind George Russell now. Max Verstappen trying to close in on the racing balls of Arvid Lindblad. Lindblad also has fallen a couple of seconds behind Pierre Gasly in the battle for best of the rest. Pierre Gasly in that Alpine looking very solid indeed for now. And Isaac Hadjar hasn't been able to get back past Esteban Ocon, so Ocon still up in the point scoring places. Ollie Behrman has been able to dispatch Gabriel Bortoleto. Bortoleto now down in 15th place. The race pace of the Audi clearly not there this weekend. And the Audi sort of falling away, even though Bortoleto started this race inside of the top 10. He's down 6 positions to 15th spot. Straight line mode being used. Kimi Antonelli right under the rear wing of Lando Norris and not able to do it this time around. Lando Norris knowing how to defend. Kimi Antonelli knowing how to attack. And he's not going to make it easy for the McLaren driver. George has really gone for it, but is now 1.3 seconds behind Piastri. Doesn't have that overtake boost to lean upon, does George Russell at the moment. Charles Leclerc also 1.4 seconds adrift of Russell. Lando Norris a second behind the Ferrari. Antonelli closing in to the back of Lando Norris's car. But Kimi Antonelli not able to go for the move for now. Lewis Hamilton's kind of been a little bit left behind. There's been a lot of interchange of positions in the top 6, but Lewis Hamilton sort of dropped down to 6th place and has stayed there for a little while now. Isn't quite part of the top 5 battle in the same way. Is still within a second though of Kimi Antonelli, so could close into the back of the Italian driver using his Italian car. Pierre Gasly 2 seconds adrift in 7th place. Max Verstappen has been able to dispatch Arvid Lindblad going around this lap, and Verstappen up into 8th place. Lindblad down in 9th. Esteban Ocon in 10th place. Lando Norris closing in to the back of the Ferrari in front of him as well, trying to keep himself within overtake boost. Oh my goodness. Oh, George didn't have as slow of a start. Just really good move from Lando Norris around the outside of turn 1, and George was just in the wrong spot. Piastri was already by him. Like, it wasn't a great start from George Russell in any sense, but it wasn't absolutely horrendous like Antonelli's was. Antonelli just basically stops. Oh, I think it's wheel spin, actually, because Antonelli gets away fairly quickly, like starts moving, but then the wheels, oh, yeah, you can just see the smoke coming off the tires of Kimi Antonelli's car as he spins those wheels as the lights go out, and that's where, well, everybody behind Kimi Antonelli was able to get the jump on him. George Russell was ahead of his teammate straight away. Piastri gets an absolutely wonder of a launch. Charles Leclerc the same behind. It's a brilliant, brilliant start to the race from Oscar Piastri, and he is still leading it now. Here comes Piastri to start lap 7 of this Grand Prix with Russell in tow. Charles Leclerc's dropped back a little bit, and Lando Norris now within overtake range of Charles Leclerc. Antonelli's still there as well, so we've got a little trio from Leclerc to Antonelli coming through the Esses all together. Lewis Hamilton's just dropped to, oh no, just within a second. Lewis Hamilton now was just over a second behind that trio in 3rd, 4th and 5th. Gasly still 7th place. Verstappen is 4.6 seconds adrift in 8th place. Esteban Ocon has been able to also get past Arvid Lindblad, who's dropped down a couple of positions since we last checked in with him. Lindblad now down into 10th place. Still inside of the point scoring places, but Isaac Hadjar looking at the back of that Racing Bulls car and ready to pounce. And Gabriel Bortoletto has actually been able to get back past Ollie Behrman as well. So there's interchanging of positions here and some real tete-a-tete head-to-head battles going on down the grid. Oscar Piastri, though, trying to escape away as much as he possibly can from George Russell, but Russell is coming at him with some fast laps. Looking at the last lap, George Russell a 134.7, Piastri a 135.1, so is 0.4 of a second in George Russell's favour, and you can see that he is just closing in lap after lap, and he is definitely the closest he has been as they start lap 8 of this Grand Prix. The Australian leading the race for now, but George Russell closing into the back of that Mercedes car already. Lando Norris actually having a little look at the back of the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc as well, and Kimi Antonelli behind Lando Norris, trying to stay with that duo ahead of him. Antonelli's in an awkward spot because he kind of wants Lando Norris to go for a move to see if he can get the double overtake. He knows that George Russell has been able to get that Mercedes car past those two, so he knows that the pace is inside of the Mercedes car, but he's not quite able to make it past as of yet. Piastri coming around turn 11 with George Russell in tow, then a couple of seconds back to Charles Leclerc, Lando Norris, and Kimi Antonelli. They're all looking for those places to overtake alongside those places to recharge. That little back and forth that you've got with these 2026 regulations, you can go for a little bit of a boost. You can gain yourself a 1/10 of a second, but does it then cost you somewhere later on in the lap? As Antonelli looks brilliant, and George Russell absolutely flies through 130R, and George Russell into the chicane, gets past Oscar Piastri. What a move from George Russell, then tries to break the toe as they go down towards turn 1, but Oscar Piastri is going to come back at him down towards turn 1, uses a little bit more of his battery and gets the move back. Oscar Piastri leads this race once again. What a move from George Russell through that final sector. Came out of absolutely nowhere. Just round turn 15 like a rocket, down towards 16, up the inside of Piastri, but then Piastri comes back at him through turn 1, and Piastri leads the race once again. Lando Norris having a little look at Charles Leclerc down in towards turn 1 too. It's all change in the top 5. It's nowhere near settled at this point. I think here we are then. It's a little overtake. A replay, sorry, this overtake from George Russell. Oh, and the gap was there. Just kind of opened up for George Russell. Just managed to get such a brilliant sling around turn 15. But then Piastri able to get back at him, gets the toe down towards turn 1, a little bit more battery as well, and then jumps back into the lead of this race. That's the skill. You can use that little bit of extra battery. As I just said, you can gain a 1/10 or 2 by using that extra boost, but then it can cut into you. As these three continue to fight, and Kimi Antonelli is right underneath the rear wing of the McLaren as they come through the final chicane. Here comes Kimi Antonelli, not gaining any more. Kimi Antonelli not quite able to get past Lando Norris for now. Lando Norris is just getting that extra little bit of help from Charles Leclerc to defend. I mean, it's not helping him through this part of the track where they're having to run through these pretty tricky corners of Suzuka, but definitely being helped by Charles Leclerc when it comes to the straight line performance, because we know that Mercedes has been an absolute rocket in a straight line. You just have to look at the overtakes from George Russell at the beginning of this Grand Prix. Antonelli will have the straight line speed advantage. Still within overtake range, though, Lando Norris, and therefore able to use that extra half a megajoule of energy, and it's working in his favor for now. Piastri leads, Russell second, Leclerc third, Norris fourth, Antonelli fifth. A real top 5 battle that we've got going on right now. Lewis Hamilton has slotted himself into 6th place comfortably. It's maybe just looking after his tyres that little bit more. He's 1.9 seconds adrift of Kimi Antonelli. Pierre Gasly is in 7th place for Alpine. 4 seconds back from that is Max Verstappen in 8th place. Gasly is looking in a world of his own this afternoon as best of the rest. Esteban Ocon, 2.2 seconds behind Verstappen, and then Lindblad just inside of the top 10, but is under pressure from Isaac Hadjar, who is within overtake range of the Racing Bulls car in front. Lawson then also behind in 12th, Colapinto 13th, Bortoletto, Behrman, Sainz, Hulkenberg, Albon, Perez, Stroll, Alonso, and Bottas still running around. It's a poor race start from both of the Mercedes cars that has just really lit the fuse for this Grand Prix. Antonelli dropping all the way back. George Russell losing 3 positions as well. Russell's been able to get back past Norris and Leclerc, but Piastri feeling the most difficult to maneuver at the moment. George Russell now 0.8 of a second behind Piastri and has just fallen a touch back from where he was a couple of laps ago, where he did retake the lead of the Grand Prix, if only for a couple of corners. Piastri still at the front for now. Charles Leclerc has actually opened up a little bit of a gap to Lando Norris, and Norris now struggling because he's not within the overtake mode, and Kimi Antonelli has looked at what George Russell did a couple of laps ago and been told over the radio, maybe that's the area to go for the overtake, and he's done it himself through turn 15, gets that launch of the Mercedes, and Kimi Antonelli up into 4th place once more. Lando Norris down into 5th, and we'll try and hold on to the back of this pack and keep Antonelli and Leclerc within his sights. Piastri saying that the front left has a narrow band of graining. So the tyres starting to just fall away from Oscar Piastri's car. We're expecting just a one-stop strategy here for the majority of the grid. A medium compound tyre onto a hard compound tyre to run all the way to the end of the Grand Prix. But it's also, when do you do that? Is there going to be a safety car? Is there going to be a virtual safety car? We haven't seen any reliability problems as of yet at the start of this Grand Prix, but never say never. The 2026 regulations are a little bit of a minefield for everybody involved. Isaac Hadjar closing into the back of Arvid Lindblad and having a little look at Arvid Lindblad, but not able to make the move for now. A real battle between those two as they go around turn 11 now then, and Hadjar just has to slot in behind Lindblad for the moment, but he's going to follow him very closely through turn 12 and 13. And let's see if he goes for that maneuver. The straight line power advantage that he'll have with that little bit of extra battery. Hadjar closing into the back of Lindblad. Lindblad's got a little bit of a battery pack behind him as Hadjar in 11th place is trying to get back into the point scoring places. They come through turn 15. Lindblad down towards turn 14 under pressure from Hadjar again, but able to just about keep his Racing Bulls car in front. Hadjar not able to get back up into the point scoring positions for Red Bull at the moment. But you can see Hadjar, Lawson, Colapinto, Bortoletto all within a second of one another. Starting to get very, very tight in that midfield pack. And that final point scoring place, well, there's a few drivers that feel like they could certainly have a little go at taking that 10th place position. What's happening to Verstappen? Kind of in a bit of a no man's land, to be honest. Like, 7th, 8th, and 9th at this moment in time have just disappeared into nowhere. Gasly is 5 seconds adrift of Hamilton, but also 5 seconds ahead of Verstappen. Verstappen the same, 5 seconds adrift of Gasly, but 5 seconds ahead of Ocon. So not really too much happening. And looking like P8 is going to be where Max Verstappen ends up this weekend, unless there's a big swing in his favor, a safety car at just the right time, or a virtual safety car that deploys just as he can get into the pits. Antonelli, though, closing into the back of Charles Leclerc. And Antonelli looking very racy indeed, as Antonelli has a little look down towards turn 1. But the Ferrari stays ahead, and Antonelli was 4.5 tenths of a second quicker than Charles Leclerc on that last lap. The Mercedes car starting to come into its own, and Charles Leclerc possibly struggling on those tyres a touch, as Liam Lawson is the first driver to decide that he's had enough of his tyres. Max Verstappen complaining about a couple of steering issues, possibly. Aston Martin is slow. Yeah, Aston Martin not having the best start to the season, it has to be said. Although Liam Lawson is now at the back of the pack, has pitted. Has come out a little bit behind. Where is Liam Lawson? Oh, no, Liam Lawson can't be that far back. Where is Liam Lawson? Lawson's between Hadjar and Colapinto. Oh, it possibly is a little bit of a problem with Liam Lawson's telemetry, because he can feel something dragging along the ground, he said when he was coming into the pits, Liam Lawson. But I'll keep you updated on that. So Lawson is currently ahead of Franco Colapinto, so sits in 12th place. There you go. It's updated for you. Antonelli having a look at the back of Charles Leclerc. Here we go, down towards turn 1 once again for lap 15 of this Japanese Grand Prix. And Antonelli does have a little look once more, but catching, not quite enough to get in front of Charles Leclerc for now. Lando Norris has fallen a little bit behind this trio. Piastri on the radio. If we hold track position, I think we can hang on to this. So Oscar Piastri, very optimistic of a McLaren win, and I would absolutely love to see it. Piastri looking comfortable now at the front of this Grand Prix. 1.2 seconds, the gap between Piastri and Russell at the front of this pack. It's Charles Leclerc and Kimi Antonelli fighting for the final podium place. There's the real battle at the moment. Lando Norris in 5th, Hamilton in 6th, Gasly, Verstappen, Ocon, and Lindblad inside of the point scoring positions for now. Isaac Hadjar down in 11th place, still trying everything in his toolbox to get past Arvid Lindblad, even having a little look. And actually, it's a black and white flag coming for Arvid Lindblad for moving under braking. So the Hadjar-Lindblad battle is continuing. As here we go, Kimi Antonelli, similar to what he did for Lando Norris, comes around turn 15, gets that launch around. Oh, he gets a little bit out of shape coming out of turn 18. That should give Charles Leclerc a little bit of a rundown to try and regain that podium place from Antonelli, and it does. So Antonelli got the move done, round turn 15 into turn 16 once again. Seems to be where Antonelli likes to go for the maneuver, but wasn't able to do it this time around, and then got a little bit out of shape as he came out of turn 17 and through 18. Oscar, thoughts on going early to be sure to defend? Oscar Piastri sounding very calm inside of that McLaren car and wanting to just keep track position. So they're thinking about pitting early. Still only Liam Lawson who has decided to make the change. We are looking at the next sort of 5 laps, I would say. The majority of the grid deciding on when they're going to make their pit stops happen. Isaac Hadjar once again looking at the back of Lindblad, coming through turn 11. And just not able to get that close this time around. It's been a little bit awkward in the midfield, hasn't it? Gasly, Verstappen, Ocon, and Lindblad are kind of all miles away from one another. And the pit crew are coming out. Is it Oscar Piastri? No. Is it Lando Norris? Yes. Lando Norris making a pit stop early then for the McLaren team. Lando Norris running in 5th, comes into the pits as Kimi Antonelli has another look at Charles Leclerc into turn 1 again. Can't do it this time around. Can Lando Norris come out in a nice little bit of clean air? It's a little bit of a slow stop from Oscar Piastri, from Lando Norris, a 2.5 second pit stop. Means he's going to come out ahead of Arvid Lindblad, but behind Esteban Ocon. And he's going to have a couple of seconds of track to run into with Esteban Ocon just ahead of him. Ollie Behrman has also pitted for the Haas team too. So Behrman deciding to get the stop done early. It's a very slow stop from Ollie Behrman. 4.3 second stop for the Haas team there. It's not helping him on his run back towards the point scoring places. Comes out of the pits down in 19th place, Ollie Behrman. So Behrman's pitted. Lawson's pitted. Oh, no, wait. Did Lawson pit? That's why we saw Lawson pit. Or was it just his telemetry was so wrong that he didn't actually even pit? Lando Norris then was actually the first driver to come in. Yeah, I don't think Lawson did pit. Now I'm looking at it. Oh, thank you for the super chat, Pixel Cookie. Thank you, mate. That's absolutely amazing. Appreciate that. Charles Leclerc into the pits then. And Charles Leclerc maybe just trying to cover off Lando Norris more so than thinking about Kimi Antonelli ahead. Here does come Lando Norris, who's been able to get past Esteban Ocon, but is still behind the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc. So Leclerc slots into 7th place. Lando Norris up into 8th place now. And Esteban Ocon in 9th. Lindblad in 10th. Franco Colapinto now pits for Alpine as well. So we are starting to see the pit stops coming at us thick and fast. And I think Lando Norris now has to try something else to get past Charles Leclerc. Wasn't able to get the overcut there. Oscar Piastri still leading this race and actually elongating his lead to 1.8 seconds from George Russell. Piastri looking comfortable at the front of this Grand Prix. Piastri was told box, box, and Piastri is in. So Piastri comes in. Russell continues. So Russell is going to take the lead of this Grand Prix for now once again. Piastri comes into the pits. He's maybe trying to spot a little bit of a gap, possibly ahead of Pierre Gasly. Looking at the lap times. Piastri's in, Piastri is out, Gasly goes past, so does Max Verstappen. And actually the gap that Piastri comes out into is behind the 4-time world champion, who now moves up into 5th place. Piastri down to 6th. Kimi Antonelli just sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. I think he knows this is his opportunity to get ahead of Charles Leclerc through the pit stops. Arvid Lindblad pits from inside of the point scoring places, finally releasing Isaac Hadjar in this race. Kimi Antonelli knowing that the Mercedes car has the pace to certainly get in front of the Ferrari and into the podium places. Maybe the overcut is the way forward for Kimi Antonelli, going very long in comparison to Leclerc and Norris, who he was fighting with a couple of laps ago. Russell and Antonelli lead this race and continue on. Neither makes their pit stop this time around either. Going for another couple of laps. And Antonelli sets a very quick lap once again. In fact, Kimi Antonelli is closing into the back of George Russell pretty substantially over the last few laps. It's now 2.4 seconds adrift of his teammate. Maybe just taking the final life out of those medium compound tyres that George Russell might have already used earlier on in this Grand Prix to gain track position. It's gained 1.5 seconds in 2 laps. Goodness me. George Russell thinking he's going to lose a lot of race time for extending this stint. So wants to come in, does George Russell, but the Mercedes team trying to talk him out of it. Ocon pits, Hadjar pits too. And Antonelli is absolutely flying inside of that Mercedes car. Hadjar, actually, I think is going to come out in front of Lindblad here, and does come out in front of Lindblad. So Hadjar has finally been able to get in front of Arvid Lindblad, and did it through the pit stops. Oscar Piastri now underneath the rear wing of Max Verstappen. I think Piastri was probably hoping that Verstappen would have pitted by now, but Piastri has caught up to the back of the Red Bull. Will get the overtake advantage, at least. And will gain on Max Verstappen as they come through 130R. Max Verstappen peels to the inside line and covers off Oscar Piastri. Piastri goes through the final chicane, still behind the Red Bull of Max Verstappen. Let's see what kind of straight line speed this McLaren has got. They both go into straight mode. Piastri moves to the left-hand side of the track from the way that we're seeing it. And Piastri gets that move done on Max Verstappen fairly comfortably. Piastri then in 5th place. Verstappen down into 6th. George Russell continues on once more. Still, neither of the Mercedes cars coming into pit, despite George Russell saying on the radio that he thinks extending this stint will cost him too much race time. Antonelli has caught another couple of tenths of a second on his teammate, now within 2 seconds of George Russell, who is leading this race. And Lando Norris just sets the fastest lap of anybody, a 133.771. Compare that to George Russell's last lap, a 134.5. We are starting to see the lap times tumble for those guys that have pitted already. The fresher tyres starting to play into their favour. And George Russell finally gets the box call. So George Russell coming around the final couple of corners and into the pit lane before turn 18. Kimi Antonelli then from pole position now leads the race once again. It's been a long 22 laps for Kimi Antonelli. Unfortunately, it hasn't been the easiest considering that incredible pole position lap that he managed to put in yesterday to grab the fastest lap on Saturday. Where's George Russell going to come out? There is Oscar Piastri, but crucially, there is Max Verstappen, and Verstappen is behind George Russell, and that just saves him a little bit of time, as there's now a yellow flag in that final sector. Oh, and it's Ollie Behrman. Ollie Behrman's gone into the barriers in the final sector, and I feel like that's going to be maybe a safety car, possibly. Yeah. Safety car deployed. Kimi Antonelli rubbing his hands together. What's the gap between Antonelli and Piastri? It was about 18 seconds as the safety car was deployed. So Antonelli can now pit this lap. That's very unlucky for George Russell, though, who pitted just a moment ago. And the guys that have extended, so Antonelli, Hamilton, Gasly, will be looking at this fairly happily. Verstappen as well hasn't pitted yet. Lawson, Bortoletto, Hulkenberg, Sainz, Albon have all yet to pit in this race, and safety car has been deployed. And George Russell on the radio just says the words unbelievable. And yeah, you can understand that George Russell's a little bit unlucky there. He's literally pitted and moments later, the safety car has come out. Antonelli does peel into the pits. Hamilton is getting the box call as well. And that's completely changed who is leading this race and where we are positioned, as we now see Bottas, Gasly, and Piastri only just making it to turn 16. Kimi Antonelli is in. Kimi Antonelli's tyres are swapped, and Kimi Antonelli's making his way back out down the pit lane. Pierre Gasly does come into the pits then. Antonelli is going to lead this race. Hamilton is going to be right near Piastri. I think he's going to be in front of Piastri. No. Hamilton is going to be alongside George Russell. They're not allowed to fight, remember? So George Russell takes the place for now. Hamilton up into 4th position. So Antonelli and Hamilton, the two massive winners from that. Oh, and Ollie Behrman does not look very happy at all. He's hurt his foot by the looks of things. He's limping a little bit. Looks like a right ankle possibly hurting Ollie Behrman there. He's not very comfortable and has taken a seat by the side of the track. We'll keep you up to date on that one. He is out of the car, but is not looking the most happy. And Antonelli, Piastri, Russell is our top 3 then. Antonelli, pole position, and now leading the race once again. Here he goes down towards spin. Oh, just gets it all wrong. Oh, and that's a really big shunt from Ollie Behrman. A really, really big shunt. Down towards turn 13. Tries to get past Franco Colapinto. Gets it all wrong. Franco Colapinto goes wide because of it. But yeah, that is a big hit from Ollie Behrman. And then he is not happy on that ankle, is Ollie Behrman. Takes a seat as soon as he gets himself off of the racetrack. And just tried to go at the inside of turn 13 from Colapinto ahead of him. Gets on the grass. Does Ollie Behrman? Oh, it's all a little bit messy from Ollie Behrman, and a big shunt for the Haas team to have to now deal with. Hopefully Ollie Behrman is, well, he is all right, but how much damage he's done to his right foot by the looks of things. And George Russell being told, and Toto Wolff confirming, very unlucky indeed, as Toto Wolff has to look on at his, well, Kimi Antonelli now leading the race is the positive, but George Russell has certainly lost out massively there. Just had he pitted one lap later, George Russell would likely be leading this Grand Prix instead of his Italian teammate. Hulkenberg only into the pits now. Maybe had already gone past the pit entry by the time the safety car came out. Not sure. But Hulkenberg deciding to stop. Everybody has made their stops now, I think. And we are now into the second phase of this Grand Prix as Ollie Behrman's car is being moved off the racing track. And Ollie Behrman has made his way into the medical car and will be taken back to have that ankle looked over, I would imagine. That'll be something that is not very comfortable at all. Oh, thank you for all the new subscribers, by the way. It's just kind of reloaded that whilst I was there. Lots of new subscribers to the channel. Massively appreciate it. If you could leave a like on the stream as well, that'd be absolutely amazing. It really does help out the channel. We've got 143 likes at the moment. I reckon we can do better than that. I reckon we can get that like total up, up, up and away from 143. Thank you for joining us on the short stream on the Twitch as well. Massively appreciate it. In fact, I think we've got like a fairly decent chunk of people watching on Twitch. In fact, if you're watching on YouTube, just because Twitch is so awkward to try and grow on, if you could just have both open, you know, if you're watching on YouTube, open up another tab, have Twitch open on there as well. You can mute the tab, you know, that's fine. But just both of those running at the same time helps out the channel massively. Leave likes, subscribes, all that good stuff. Follow over on Twitch. Do the business whilst we're waiting for this safety car to come back in. Follow Crash Happy. What other things can I plug? Oh, actually, I can plug something. I'm doing another video where I need your guys' opinions. Actually, the first link in the description down below on the YouTube channel is a link to a survey where all you have to do is you're given 4 drivers and you just have to rank them in terms of who you like the most and who you like the least. So there's 4 drivers. And you just have to say which one you like the most, which one you like the least. It does a few iterations of that, so you get shown a few of the drivers each time. And all you have to do is put your favorite at the top, least favorite of the 4 at the bottom. And that would really help me out as well. YouTube stream is more delayed. That's also true if you're over on Twitch. YouTube has a natural delay. So if you're on Twitch, you're more live, technically. Oh. That shunt again from Ollie Behrman is just not a nice one to watch. Ugh. He is still able to put a little bit of weight on that ankle. It's not like a completely... Oh... And yeah, just couldn't. It's looking at the onboard. He's just closing into the back of Franco Colapinto so quickly, and I think he doesn't realize how fast he's sort of catching up to the back of the Alpine and darts to the left-hand side of the track to try and almost, well, just make sure that he doesn't smash into the back of Franco Colapinto, really. But maybe it would have been better off hitting the back of Franco Colapinto, to be honest. Like, he's ended up causing himself quite a bit of damage, taking the full brunt of the wall as he goes through turn 13 and straight into the barriers at turn 14 down at Spoon. Ouch. Ouch, 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 ouch. It's a little bit awkward for the guys in the midfield as well, because those guys that pitted early are now losing out pretty substantially. You're seeing, the likes of Gasly was okay. He was sort of in a world of his own anyway. He's still in 7th place, but Verstappen up into 8th. Kind of where he was. Lawson, though, has gained pretty well. He's up into 9th place. Bortoleto up into 10th place. Arvid Lindblad, who was fighting for his life for those point-scoring places, now all the way down in 14th. So it's a real swap around in terms of those final couple of point-scoring places, for now at least. Pierre Gasly looking in a world of his own, though, in 7th place at the moment. Just by far and away best of the rest in the midfield so far as we come towards the middle of this Grand Prix. We're going to get back underway as soon as the debris is swept away from the track. The safety car is now letting those lapped cars back past as Valtteri Bottas comes back onto the leading lap. And Ollie Behrman out of this Grand Prix. 26 laps complete. 53 laps of the Suzuka circuit, though. Makes up the full Grand Prix distance. Oscar Piastri already looking at the side of Kimi Antonelli's Mercedes car. Looking very racy indeed. He's got the bit between his teeth now, the Australian. Very unlucky to lose the lead of this Grand Prix. Antonelli just going that little bit longer on the first stint and then able to pit under the safety car conditions. Will Piastri be able to make a move on the restart? Or are we going to see Kimi Antonelli go back-to-back in terms of victories for Mercedes? That would also mean he's leading the Drivers' World Championship going into the sort of mini spring break that we have got. Antonelli then leading at the moment. Safety car coming around. Oh, can you confirm that Kimi is going to go in the place that we trained? Is the question from George Russell. I mean, I don't think the Mercedes team can read Kimi Antonelli's mind, unfortunately. And George being told, we just don't know, unfortunately. Maybe they'll go and ask Kimi if he's going to go into the place that they trained. That's interesting. Bottas looks so fast. I mean, right now, Bottas is absolutely flying. If you look at the lap time of Valtteri Bottas in the next lap, whoo-wee, you will be impressed. I think George Russell just hoping that Kimi Antonelli will follow the orders, and therefore George Russell will have a little bit of a jump on Oscar Piastri, because Piastri obviously won't know where the Mercedes drivers have trained to launch from. But of course, Antonelli doesn't have to go by what his team have trained him to do. The safety car is ending this lap, and we will see if Kimi Antonelli decides to go for where the team trained him to run, or if he decides to go and freestyle it a little bit inside of that Mercedes car. Here we are then. Safety car is ending. Antonelli closing into the back of the safety car, and then we'll release it away as we come through towards the final sector. You can see Valtteri Bottas still running around at the back of the pack. But it is going to be an interesting little launch here. We'll see who's got the straight line speed advantage, who's maybe willing to use a little bit of their battery a touch earlier. Lose out possibly a little bit later in the lap. Kimi Antonelli, pole position here in the Japanese Grand Prix, winner of the Chinese Grand Prix, and will start lap 28 of this Japanese Grand Prix in the lead once again. He has launched off. Oscar Piastri disappearing away from George Russell a touch, but George Russell trying to get underneath the rear wing of Piastri. But George Russell's got Lewis Hamilton in his wing mirrors to deal with, and Lewis Hamilton launches himself up into the podium places. A stunning little start from Lewis Hamilton. George Russell caught out by the Ferrari, and Charles Leclerc also now looking at the back of George Russell's car. Not able to make it this time around, though. So we have Antonelli leading, Piastri second, Hamilton third, Russell fourth, Leclerc fifth. Norris still inside of that top six. Then it's Gasly all over the rear wing of, Verstappen all over the back of his rear wing. Gasly and Verstappen fighting for 7th and 8th place. Lawson is in 10th, and Bortoletto still holding on to 10th place for now. Then we've got Ocon, Hulkenberg, Hadjar, Lindblad, Sainz, Colapinto, Albon, Perez, Stroll, Alonso, Bottas still running. The first did not finish, being Ollie Behrman this weekend. Big shunt. And Esteban Ocon's having a look at Gabriel Bortoletto for the final point scoring place, and he's going to make a move, and Ocon is up into 10th position. Gabriel Bortoletto and that Audi just do not have the race pace this weekend, Audi. They've second time that Bortoletto has now fallen outside of the point scoring places. He started there, of course, got back up there during the safety car, but is back down into 11th once more. As we now watch the leaders coming around the final couple of corners once again. Kimi Antonelli leads going into lap 29 of this Grand Prix. Seeing the straight line mode being used by Lewis Hamilton as he now closes in on Piastri. And Piastri's under pressure from Hamilton. Hamilton has come to life on these hard compound tyres. Antonelli sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix so far by anybody. It's a 1:33.649. Piastri 1.6 seconds behind. Hamilton 2.2. Russell 3 seconds, Leclerc 3.9 seconds. So the entire top five within 4 seconds of our race leader. Lando Norris in 6th spot as drifted away a touch from the back of Charles Leclerc, but keeping him within overtake range for now. Nico Hülkenberg having a little look at a move on his teammate and gets that move done on his teammate. Hülkenberg now up into 11th place. Gabriel Bortoleto in 12th position. Hajar, Lindblad, Sainz, Colapinto, Albon still running around at the back of the pack. Piastri is under pressure, though, from Lewis Hamilton in the Ferrari behind. Hamilton gaining massively because of the safety car and allowing him to pit, gaining that extra 10 seconds. And, well, not losing out to 10 seconds, really, in terms of the pit stops. Max Verstappen through 130R has a little look at Pierre Gasly. Gasly able to find the apex of turn 16 before Verstappen, though. And Verstappen now has to tuck in behind the Alpine of Gasly for the moment. Lawson and Ocon just behind as well, looking at Gasly and Verstappen fighting side by side ahead. The Red Bull does not look like a fun car to drive. Antonelli leading from Piastri. Piastri 2 seconds adrift now of the race leader. Antonelli looking comfortable inside of that Mercedes car. And it's similar to what we saw in Shanghai a couple of weeks ago. Once Antonelli's in that clean air at the front of the pack, he does seem to have the pace to be able to just escape away in that Mercedes car. It's only when the Mercedes is in the traffic, like we're seeing with George Russell right now, that it starts to maybe struggle a touch. Isn't quite able to get past Lewis Hamilton at the moment, as Hamilton's still within overtake range of Piastri too. So I think a Piastri win is plausible. Antonelli's looking really good right now. The car ahead keeps going off at turn 9 and turn 14. So Hamilton complaining that possibly some untoward track limits happening for Oscar Piastri. In terms of track limits so far today, we haven't seen many pop up, to be fair. We've had Perez, Stroll, and Behrman all with a track limits infringement. And investigations has also been pretty quiet, although Colapinto and Behrman now getting the first investigation from the stewards of the afternoon. Oscar, second place. Hamilton, third. Trying to get that change. Lance Stroll is being told over the radio that they have an issue, so they are boxing that Aston Martin car, and Lance Stroll peels into the pits. Valtteri Bottas moves up into 20th place for anybody who's keeping tabs on the Cadillacs. That might be the end of Lance Stroll's Japanese Grand Prix weekend. I'll keep you updated to see if he comes back out. We have seen the Aston Martins come in, wait a few laps, and come back out again during this season already. So never say never when it comes to Lance Stroll, although they are pushing that Aston Martin car back into the Aston Martin garage. Arvid Lindblad up into 14th place, has got back past Carlos Sainz, but Nico Hülkenberg has actually dropped from 11th down to 13th. So Bortoleto and Hajar have been able to get back past Nico Hülkenberg. It's all a little bit chaotic for that final, well, I was going to say the final point scoring place, but it's not even. It's for 11th place with Bortoleto, Hajar, and Hülkenberg all fighting one another. Ooh. Yeah, Piastri, 2.9 seconds adrift now of Kimi Antonelli. Antonelli just looks like he can guide this car home once again. Started on pole, but he's done it the tricky way as Kimi Antonelli. Fell backwards at the start, had a dramatic battle with first Lando Norris, then was stuck behind Charles Leclerc for a good chunk of time. And now, thanks to the safety car, it's just been able to take that advantage and is running with it. Over 3 seconds now, the gap between Antonelli and Piastri. His last lap at 133.2. Piastri's at 133.4. So just another couple of tenths going in his favor In comparison, George Russell at 133.9 is 0.7 of a second slower than Kimi Antonelli on the last lap alone. So if you're hoping for a George Russell victory, it seems to be slipping through the Mercedes man's fingers, unfortunately. As he's still got Oscar Piastri and Lewis Hamilton to deal with for the podium positions first before he can get anywhere close to Kimi Antonelli leading this Grand Prix. Charles Leclerc is also closing into the back of George Russell, so even fourth place not absolutely guaranteed at the moment for the Mercedes man. And then our world champion at the moment, Lando Norris, running in sixth position with that number one car for this season. Nico Hulkenberg, a little bit of a replay. What happened here then? Oh, and it was a lockup. And that was why Isaac Hadjar just continued onwards. Oh, and it was Arvid Lindblad. That was where Hulkenberg was able to get that position back from Arvid. Lindblad, a little bit of an overtake and then outbreak from Arvid, down in 14th position. Got very unlucky as well. You know, you look at the guys that pitted early and gambled on there not being a safety car, just completely smashed by the fact that as soon as that safety car came out, Antonelli won, Hamilton won. It was just like all those guys that hadn't yet pitted were able to get it done then. Lawson the same, now up into 9th place for Racing Bulls. Piastri got unlucky because he didn't want to get undercut. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's one of those things, like the safety car came literally right at the fringe end of when you would have wanted to do a pit stop. Like Antonelli and Hamilton, they were leaving it very, very late indeed to go for that pit stop. I know Antonelli was trying to go for the overcut and was putting in some sort of, well, qualifying-esque laps really towards the end of that first stint before the safety car came out. Like he was absolutely rinsing those tyres, but was also going a lot longer, or at least a few laps longer than we were expecting a lot of the cars to go, especially on the mediums. So just got really unlucky, basically. Did Piastri now running around in second place, Hamilton in third. Hamilton's fallen away from Piastri a touch, though, is just outside of that 1 second range for the first time since the safety car restart. George Russell still 0.7 behind Lewis Hamilton. Charles Leclerc then 0.9 behind that. So they're still on the fringe of being within the overtake range. It's not by any means done and dusted. But we're on lap 34 of 53 here in Japan. And still a little way to go. 19 laps to still complete in full. Antonelli just completing the final sector of this one. Ooh. McLaren have lost the power to their pit wall. So we've seen Andrea Stella and Zach Brown have had to go from the pit wall actually back into the garage to be able to communicate with the team. The pit wall is no longer working down at McLaren. So Piastri got unlucky, and now also the electrics aren't just going in the cars, the electrics are going on the pit wall as well for the McLaren team. Piastri 4.5 seconds adrift of Kimi Antonelli, and Antonelli now looking like this should be a fairly comfortable second victory in the Mercedes car. That is very, very nice for him indeed. Kimi's World Drivers' Championship actually real? Well, should we have a little look actually at the championship board and see who would be where? Because at the moment, we are kind of in a little bit of a locked-in positions-wise. Let's just make that a touch smaller. Oh. Or a touch bigger. It'll fit eventually. Nope. Come on. Come on now. There we go. trying to get Alonso and Stroll actually in the picture. There we go. Alonso and Stroll do exist in the championship. I know it doesn't feel like it, but they do. There we are. So, in terms of the championship right now, Kimi Antonelli would take the lead of it. He would be on 72 points to George Russell, second place at 63, a 9-point gap between the two Mercedes cars going into the spring break. Hamilton would stay in third place, 4 points ahead of Charles Leclerc, who would be in fourth. Lando Norris would actually jump up a position into fifth, which would put him on 23 points. Oscar Piastri actually finishing a Grand Prix for the first time this season. Although he's got 3 points from sprint races, hasn't finished a race yet this season, Oscar Piastri. So 18 points would go his way, and 21 for the season would move him all the way up into 6th place. Behrman absolutely cannot score any points, so dropping down to 7th at the moment. Gasly goes down a position into 8th, despite scoring 6 points for Alpine, which would be a stunning return. Verstappen drops down into 9th place, Lawson 10th. Hadjar would stay 11th as it stands right now on the same points of Arvid Lindblad. Bortoletto would jump up into 13th place, even without scoring a point. And then Esteban Ocon would jump up, scoring his first point of the season, getting ahead of Franco Colapinto, who also has a point for Alpine. Hulkenberg, Albon, Bottas, Perez, Alonso, Stroll, the drivers yet to score points this year. Then in terms of the constructors, it would be Mercedes leading, still 135 points for them, followed by Ferrari, and McLaren would stay where they're at. Haas would also still be the fourth fastest team so far this season. And Alpine would actually jump up to 5th place, displacing Red Bull and Racing Bulls, who would drop down to 6th and 7th place. Audi on 2 points, Williams on 2 points, Cadillac on 0, and Aston Martin at the back of the pack for the moment, is how the championship currently looks, with Kimi Antonelli leading this Grand Prix on lap 37. Piastri 6 seconds adrift of the lead of this race as well. So Antonelli looking very comfortable indeed, and is about half a second quicker than Piastri in the last lap. It's all coming up Kimi Antonelli. Lewis Hamilton about half a second adrift of Piastri, and then Russell behind still. Charles Leclerc in 5th. It's all a little bit of a battle between that sort of 3rd, 4th, 5th. Oh! And George Russell's got a problem. George Russell must have had something go wrong there, because he's conceded a place to Charles Leclerc out of seemingly nowhere. Was it a deployment issue of some kind? Just standing still, George Russell, as he came out of turn 12. Charles Leclerc moves up into 4th place. Let's see what happened there for George Russell. It seemed like a hiccup inside of that Mercedes car, just didn't get going, and then suddenly Charles Leclerc was up a position, and George Russell, who was already pretty angry about how the safety car went, now will be even more angry, having lost another position for something completely out of his control. Maybe he's used his energy up and he just didn't have the battery that he thought he had left. I don't know. We'll have to see, because George just nowhere near the speed of Charles Leclerc coming out of that corner. George Russell, surely inside of that helmet, is not a very happy boy whatsoever. I'm just trying to see if I can see any radio messages that have come through from George Russell of recent, but nothing that we can interpret at the moment. George is in such an awkward place now as well. He's got both of the Ferraris in front of him to have to try and deal with. He was already struggling to get past Lewis Hamilton. Charles Leclerc is going to be no easier an adversary. And Charles Leclerc is also closing into the back of Lewis Hamilton. I think Leclerc now trying to make it a battle between the two Ferraris. Now, have Ferrari learned their lesson on this one? Because if you remember back to China, we saw the two Ferrari cars fighting with one another side by side. It was absolutely brilliant, but it did also allow the opportunity for George Russell to move past both of the Ferrari cars. Are they going to be allowed to fight in the same way, the two Ferrari cars this time around? And will George Russell be able to take the advantage of the two Ferrari cars once again? As I say, he was able to do it last time. We saw it in Shanghai. And George Russell very much in the mood to get past some Ferraris once again, considering how this race has gone for him. Currently would be a 5th place finish for George Russell in this one. Lando Norris, 6th place. Pierre Gasly in 7th. Verstappen 8th. Lawson 9th. Ocon 10th are our points scoring positions. Isaac Hadjar, the closest competitor to inside of the top 10, but is 4 seconds adrift of Esteban Ocon. Hulkenberg in 12th, Bortoletto 13th, Lindblad 14th, Carlos Sainz in 15th, Franco Colapinto 16th, Albon 17th, Perez 18th, Alonso 19th, Bottas, the final running car, in 20th place. Lance Stroll, a problem inside of that Aston Martin car, peeling him into the pits. And Ollie Behrman out after a big shunt at turn 13 into 14, whilst he was going for an overtake on Franco Colapinto. Antonelli now leading this race by almost 8 seconds. That is a dominant showing from Kimi Antonelli. Piastri down in second. It's the first time we've seen Piastri's actual race pace, and I have to say, it's pretty good. Piastri's very unlucky that he's not still leading this race, to be honest. Had it not been for that very inopportune safety car, Piastri would still be in the lead. Hamilton jumping up into 3rd place because of that safety car too. Charles Leclerc in 4th, George Russell 5th. Haven't actually got any update on what happened there for George Russell. Just seemed like a possible deployment error inside of that Mercedes car, as I'm watching and seeing what's happening with Charles Leclerc as he's having a little look at Lewis Hamilton. And Charles Leclerc on the radio. We are losing a little bit of time, says Charles Leclerc, possibly hunting for a swap between the two Ferrari cars, and he almost goes for the swap himself. Don't need team orders if you can just get it done through turn 16, but wasn't able to do it this time around. Charles Leclerc, though, lunging at his teammate. Certainly not done and dusted between these two Ferrari cars here this weekend, as Charles Leclerc does get right under the rear wing of Lewis Hamilton. They go around turn 1 with Charles Leclerc looking at the back of the rear wing of Lewis Hamilton once more. In clean air, yeah, that in clean air, the Mercedes does just look like an app. Well, we see it in qualifying, right? Qualifying is the perfect sort of advantage of seeing if everyone has pretty clean air, because they can force that in qualifying. What kind of lap times are they capable of? And I know you're not quite able to like fully take qualifying times and race pace and compare the two, but certainly the clean air pace you can look at in that vein. And Antonelli and Mercedes, certainly when they've got a bit of clean air in front of them, are able to absolutely rocket away from the rest. As George Russell now has a little look at Charles Leclerc. Leclerc will have used quite a lot of his boost to try and battle with Lewis Hamilton, and George Russell trying to be opportunistic there. Not able to do it this time around, though. Charles Leclerc is on the longest stint of those cars, though. 23 laps. Charles Leclerc is now finished on those tyres, and he has a look again as they go through turn 15 and down towards turn 16 once again. And Lewis Hamilton once again just positions his Ferrari car on the apex and says to Charles Leclerc, not this time around. Leclerc, though, using the boost down towards turn 1, Hamilton hasn't quite got the boost to defend, and Charles Leclerc around the outside of turn 1. The Ferrari side by side once again, and Charles Leclerc comes out on top this time around. Lewis Hamilton down to 4th, Charles Leclerc up into the podium places. But Lewis Hamilton will not let that lie. He will be right underneath the rear wing of Charles Leclerc once again, you would imagine, as they come around the first sector. And Charles Leclerc leads the 2 Ferraris. And Lewis Hamilton, though, needs to be a little bit careful of George Russell just behind. Hamilton will have used a little bit of battery to try and defend from Leclerc. Leclerc had that bit of extra battery due to being within overtake range. There's another driver now within overtake range as well. George Russell's going to have an extra bit of charge in that battery that he can run at Lewis Hamilton with. Ex-Mercedes teammates. George Russell will see himself as the number 1 within that Mercedes team now that Lewis Hamilton has left. But Kimi Antonelli, the number 1 Mercedes driver right now in the championship as it stands. Piastri in 2nd place in this Japanese Grand Prix, nearly 10 seconds adrift of Kimi Antonelli, who is leading. George Russell wasn't able to close in on Lewis Hamilton too much through that final sector. They come around the final couple of corners and will enter lap 43 with Charles Leclerc still on the podium, Hamilton 4th, and George Russell now going for the overtake boost on Lewis Hamilton down towards turn 1, and George Russell gets the move done, moves past Lewis Hamilton finally and up into 4th place. And this is the thing, when you lose out to one car, you are a little bit sort of dead in the water to the car behind too, because everybody gets that overtake boost and that extra little bit of energy playing into George Russell's favour there. He's been stuck behind the Ferraris for a little while, but maybe Lewis Hamilton's Ferrari car just not quite working for him in the way that he would want it to. And Lando Norris, actually, in that time period, we've been watching the Ferraris and Russell battle one another. Lando Norris is now within a second of Lewis Hamilton now, who sits in 5th place. So Hamilton was in 3rd a couple of laps ago, now down into 5th. Charles Leclerc has taken that podium spot from his teammate. George Russell still between 2 Ferraris after all of that. They're just the other way around. Leclerc now 3rd, Hamilton 5th. Pierre Gasly still running around in 7th place ahead of Verstappen. Verstappen within overtake range, but not able to get it done at the moment. Gasly comfortably best of the rest over the course of this Japanese Grand Prix weekend, it feels, as Kimi Antonelli now puts in the fastest lap of the race so far. A 1:32.5 from Kimi Antonelli. And Oscar Piastri is a second slower that lap than Kimi Antonelli. That is obscene from the Italian. He is absolutely standing on the throat of the rest of the grid and making sure they know how quick he is. Goodness me, Antonelli is flying at this moment in time. Piastri still looks comfortably second, so he's still got a couple of seconds gap to Charles Leclerc in 3rd. George Russell will be biding his time, charging his battery and seeing what he can do from 4th place. Lewis Hamilton has dropped to 1.4 seconds behind Russell and in 5th. So actually, Hamilton is going to be looking in his mirrors once again, as the closest car to him is Lando Norris in 6th place behind. Lando Norris then 6 seconds ahead of Pierre Gasly. Verstappen in 8th place. Lawson in 9th is 12 seconds behind Max Verstappen. And Esteban Ocon in 10th place. Although Verstappen and Ocon all within a overtake range, to be fair to them. So we could see a little swapping around of a couple of point scoring places there. But actually, at this point in time, a lot of those point scoring places looking fairly locked in. Antonelli, 12 seconds the gap now at the start of the race. Russell just waiting for Ferrari to get slower, then overtaking them? Kind of a little bit, yeah, to be honest. Just waiting for that opportunity, mainly because that battle between Leclerc and Hamilton, they obviously have to deploy a little bit of extra energy. You would have been deploying extra energy from Leclerc's perspective to obviously get that overtake done. Hamilton would have been deploying more energy to try and defend from Charles Leclerc. And to be honest, George Russell just saw it as a bit of an opportune moment. Had the one chance to get past Lewis Hamilton. We're seeing that George Russell can't really deal with the Ferrari cars when they're just focusing on keeping in front. So he kind of gained on the fact that Lewis Hamilton was trying to get back at Charles Leclerc and able to swap it around and get that move done on his old Mercedes teammate. But only 4th place for George Russell at the moment. Russell now going down towards turn 16. Not able to do it this time around. Lewis Hamilton being investigated for leaving the track and gaining an advantage. Hamilton did go very deep into turn 16, kind of cut the chicane and continued on. The steward's not very happy about that one and looking at whether he maybe gained a little bit of an advantage, even though he did lock up into turn 16 and carried on straight. But did he drop back enough? Hamilton, of course, not just looking at how much he gained on George Russell, but also how much he gained on Lando Norris behind, as Norris was within overtake range. And here we go then. Oh my goodness me. Nico Hülkenberg having a look at Isaac Hadjar for that final point scoring place, and Hadjar having to fight for it. Hadjar defends for now, keeps Hülkenberg at bay, but fighting for 11th place down there, Hadjar and Hülkenberg, and still going at it. Driver of the day vote has currently come in. It is 6 laps until it is completed, but Oscar Piastri, currently the driver of the day. Kimi Antonelli with 18% second behind him, and Charles Leclerc actually getting the 3rd most votes for driver of the day so far. Lawson P20. Oh, I think that's just he's had a telemetry problem all races, Liam Lawson. So he is running around in 9th place and fairly comfortably in 9th place as well. He's got Esteban Ocon behind him, but has been able to keep the Haas at bay for a long time now. So Liam Lawson looking like a fairly comfortable 9th place finish. I'll let you know if that does change in any way. Piastri now 13.5 seconds adrift of Kimi Antonelli. Remember, we did have a safety car restart in this race too. So that's only within the last 20 laps or so that Piastri has lost over 13 seconds. Charles Leclerc 1.8 seconds behind Piastri. So Piastri looking at a very comfortable 2nd place. George Russell still trying to get back up into the podium places after his very, very unfortunate pit stop. Pitted, and then 1 lap later, there was a safety car, which would have handed George Russell the lead of this Grand Prix. But instead, he is fighting for that 3rd place. And there we see Ollie Behrman returning to the garage and actually walking about. And limping a tiny little bit, but nowhere near as much as he was on the or after that impact. So looking like he is okay, which is lovely to see. Ollie Behrman has had a brilliant start to this season. I hope that doesn't kill the confidence that he should have in himself. Lando Norris, though, having a look at Hamilton, and Lando Norris moving up into 5th place. As I was looking at Ollie Behrman in the Haas garage, Lando Norris was making moves, and Hamilton's going to come back at him, though. And Hamilton, yeah, maybe Lando Norris using a little bit too much of that boost to try and get past Lewis Hamilton. Didn't have anywhere near enough to defend the position down in towards turn 1. Hamilton retakes that 5th place spot. And Lando Norris returns to 6th. Let's have a little look at this move from Lando Norris. Yeah, he used that extra bit of boost round 130R. up the inside of turn 16, job done. And then as soon as you come out of turn 18, you could just see Lewis Hamilton launch out of turn 18, cross the start-finish line, and easily able to retake that position from Lando. Oh, so we're looking now at Kimi Antonelli. Just looks so planted inside of that car. I was just looking at a little bit of an onboard from Kimi Antonelli, and he's just so comfortable inside of that Mercedes. Has slowed it down a little bit. Well, slowed it down by a second. 133.5 his last lap, or 132.5 his fastest, but still just looks like he's breezing around this Japanese circuit at the front of the pack. Charles Leclerc in third spot. Took that third place from his teammate. Taking another trophy home instead of Lewis Hamilton, who's now dropped to fifth. It's a little bit weird because Russell was in a Ferrari sandwich. Obviously got very unfortunate with some kind of deployment issue. Dropped a position to Leclerc. And then Leclerc gained on Hamilton. Hamilton then dropped back, and Russell then opportunistically got in front of Hamilton. So Russell was in a Ferrari sandwich, is back in a Ferrari sandwich, but the two Ferraris have swapped positions. Lando Norris still in 6th, Gasly 7th, Verstappen 8th, Lawson 9th, and Ocon 10th. And it does feel like we're pretty much locked into place for these final few laps, so I'll do the rigmarole once again. If you could leave a like on the stream, that'd be absolutely incredible. It massively helps out the channel. Subscribe to the channel too. We're on our way to 200,000 subscribers, which we're trying to get to by the end of this season. And then also, if you're over on Twitch, hit us a follow. Be absolutely amazing if we could try and hit 1,000 followers over on Twitch at some point this season too. And thank you once again to all the members, all the super chats as well. There's been loads of super chats over on the Crash Happy channel today. And here too, like the super chats really do help as well. Loads of followers over on Twitch. It's been a very good stream. If maybe, can I say, not quite the best race that we've seen this season, give or take. Like, I think China was very entertaining. I think Japan's had its moments, but the safety car kind of allowing a few of those drivers to gain a bit of a margin where they wouldn't have done without it. And it's kind of just settled into a bit of a parade towards the end of the race. Still seeing some lunges at overtakes, but they're not really able to make it stick. George Russell still trying to catch Leclerc. Norris trying to catch Hamilton. But it's all a little bit sort of done and dusted, I would think. Verstappen still hasn't been able to get past Gasly. He's been stuck under the rear wing of the Alpine for a long time. And as I say that, here goes George Russell on Charles Leclerc to prove me wrong and move up into the podium places. He left it late, did George Russell. And a very nice move from the Briton. Can Charles Leclerc come back at him down the straight? George Russell tries to break the toe, and Charles Leclerc is going to go around the outside of turn 1. And it's brilliant from Charles Leclerc. That is a stunning move from the Monegasque man, as Lewis Hamilton also defends 5th place from Lando Norris behind. And I said it, and I'm sorry. I thought we were just going to sort of settle into the final couple of laps there. I thought Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton would have it done in the Ferraris, but no, Russell and Norris wanting to go for that move. And to be fair, if they go for that move in towards the final chicane, they might be able to run down towards the line, because Leclerc and Hamilton there were only able to retake those positions into turn 1. So if they're able to do that on the final lap of the race and go for that move into turn 16, they will beat the Ferraris to the line And unfortunately for the Ferrari team, that's kind of where it counts. So Russell and Norris have a couple of laps now to recuperate that battery power, and maybe, just maybe, we're going to see an absolutely electric final sector to this race. Charles Leclerc looking in his mirrors as the Aston Martin Fernando Alonso moves out of the way of Leclerc and Russell. Kimi Antonelli is on the penultimate lap, and Lando Norris has another little look at the inside line, and Lewis Hamilton can't defend once more. Lando Norris up into 5th place for now, and this is what I mean. Lando Norris across the start-finish line before Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton's only going to be able to come back at him down towards turn 1. Is he going to be able to get back? He's not going to be able to get back. Lando Norris up into 5th place. Lewis Hamilton down into 6th. And even after Lewis Hamilton was able to gain so much from that safety car restart, he's found himself back in 6th place anyway. Lando Norris up into 5th. George Russell biding his time. Looking at the back of Charles Leclerc once again. Antonelli then still leading this race. He's just coming towards turn 4, or just around Spoon Corner. So it's coming towards turn 15. Kimi Antonelli will start the final lap of this Grand Prix in a moment's time. But we're still looking at Charles Leclerc versus George Russell. Russell within overtake range. Charles Leclerc trying to catch up to Oscar Piastri just to get a little bit of a boost from the McLaren car possibly in front of him. Here comes George Russell down towards turn 16 again. Not this time around from George Russell as we go onto the final lap of this Grand Prix. Is George Russell going to go down towards turn 1 and try and make a move on the final lap? Looks a little bit too far behind Charles Leclerc for me. Is maybe just holding on to a bit more battery that he can use later on in the lap. But Kimi Antonelli coming through the first sector for the final time this weekend and leading the Grand Prix. He's done it the long way, has Kimi Antonelli. Started on pole position, then dropped back at the start of the race. Lost out to his teammate along with both McLarens and the Ferraris. But then was able to capitalize on a safety car. Got himself that pit advantage and then just launched away from that safety car restart. Looks so confident inside of that Mercedes car when he's in clean air. And he now not only will be leading this Grand Prix for the final lap and the final sector, he will be leading the Drivers' World Championship for the first time in his career. 2 pole positions in a row. 2 wins in a row, and it is Kimi Antonelli who will lead the championship going into the spring break that we have before Miami. And Kimi Antonelli does it. Victory at Suzuka. Oscar Piastri comes around the final couple of corners. Unfortunate for the Australian. A brilliant drive from him. And a stunning start to the race. Did really well to hold on to that lead. Charles Leclerc then also just about comes home in 3rd place, with George Russell in 4th just behind. Max Verstappen having a final look at Pierre Gasly, but still isn't able to make it past the Alpine. So Norris and Hamilton come across the line 5th and 6th. There comes Gasly and Verstappen. Gasly best of the rest in 7th. Verstappen down in 8th. Lawson is currently in 9th place, but is a good chunk of time behind as we're just seeing them come towards turn 16 now. Lawson coming through the final couple of corners, able to keep Ocon behind. Lawson does take 9th. Ocon 10th to round out the point scoring places, and Hulkenberg in 11th just misses out on those points. Hadjar, Bortoletto, Lindblad, Sainz, Colapinto, Perez, Alonso, Bottas and Albon all finish the race in that order, with Lance Stroll and Ollie Behrman, the 2 drivers to DNF from this Grand Prix. Goodness me. Thank you guys so much for watching. In terms of the championship then, just before we leave and watch Kimi Antonelli lift the driving, or the winner's driver's trophy for the 2nd race weekend in a row, Antonelli will lead the championship. 72 points for the Mercedes man, 63 for George Russell behind, so a 9-point gap between the two Mercedes cars at the front, although that does mean Mercedes clearly leading the Constructors' Championship with 135 points. The two Ferraris in third and fourth place. Charles Leclerc does keep third spot ahead of Lewis Hamilton, 49 points to 41. Ferrari keeps second place in the Constructors 2. Lando Norris moves on to 25 points. He was so used to getting that in one weekend. It's taken him 3 this time around. Fifth place for Lando Norris there. And sixth place now it goes to Oscar Piastri. An 18-point swing moves him up 6 positions in the championship. And his first race that he's actually been able to complete, Oscar Piastri. 2 did not start before this one. 21 points for him. McLaren third in the Constructors' Championship. Ollie Behrman, despite that DNF, stays 7th in the Drivers' Championship. And Haas, with that extra point from Esteban Ocon, stay 4th in the Constructors' Championship. Gasly in 8th place in the Drivers' Championship. He is just ahead of Max Verstappen, as he has been all afternoon. They're on 15 points and 12 points apiece, with Liam Lawson and Arvid Lindblad, the two Racing Bulls, in 10th and 11th place. Alpine still ahead of Red Bull and Racing Bulls in the championship, though. Alpine move up to 5th place. Red Bull drop to 6th. Racing Bulls in 7th. And then we've got Hadjar with 4 points on the board in 12th. Bortoletto, 2 points on the board. Sainz with 2 points. Ocon with his first point of the season. Colapinto with 1 point to his name as well. Means that Audi are on 2 points. They're still 8th in the championship. Williams stay 9th in the championship. Cadillac and Aston Martin yet to score points this season. But it is the main man, Kimi Antonelli, 2 wins from 2 Grand Prix in the last 2 race weekends. Can't ask for better than that. He moves to the top of the Drivers' Championship for the first time in his Formula One career. Is this the year of the Italian drivers? Is this the year of Kimi Antonelli? We'll have to wait and see. We're going to be a little while now between this race weekend and Miami. Obviously, the Bahrain and Saudi Arabian Grand Prix is still cancelled, so we don't have any live streams until the 1st of May in terms of actual race and quali watch-alongs. It is a sprint weekend in Miami, so we'll be live for sprint qualifying on Friday, the 1st of May. So let me know what you would like to see in April. We will have lots of videos coming your way, though, over the April break. Please do, actually, whilst we're here, leave a like on the channel, subscribe to the channel, but also, one quick thing, just whilst you're here, click the top link in the description down below. The top link, I need as many people as possible to complete a quick little survey for me. All you have to do is pick your favorite drivers. Real easy. Hit that top link. That would do me an absolute massive favor. And we see Kimi Antonelli run towards the Mercedes team. I'm also going to run back to bed, I think, on this Sunday afternoon or Sunday morning for myself. And I will see you all in a month's time in Miami. Well, we'll be live before then, but for another race in Miami.